All right. Hello, my name's Daniel, and I'm working on a toml deserializer for Swift. And this is where we are. Um, so long story short, I've already written a lot of the code, but I'm missing a test suite. Let me show you what's going on here. Well, I think if I run tree here, you'll see a big file tree now, but it doesn't matter. Basically, I already have a project, and it does a bunch of things. It supports all the common suspects of package managers that you would use with Swift. But the problem is I don't have a really end-to-end test, meaning data in. I can show you the README here. So the interface is pretty simple, right? It's just like JSON deserialization. You take your data or your string, you feed it to this one method, and out comes your dictionary. Obviously, it's not the end state. The next step would be like there's a JSON decoder. We'll do a toml decoder that does that, but that's for a different string. But today, we're going to basically write tests for this. What I do have now is, I think, scanner tests. As you can see, there's tests for some internal stuff. This scanner is like a parser, and you can give it a string and tell it, I want a number, and then, it'll give you the right number. It handles like, for example, hex numbers. In this case, it's like a table. Table is the term for dictionary in Tamil. And it has Boolean values and all kinds of stuff. This is all good, but like you don't really know whether things are working until you really feed it Tamil files. And for that, I have a different set of tests, but they are put in mainly to filter out issues from the parser. So you'll notice that the results are ignored. So these, even though are in fact inside a XCTests suite, they are not really checked. The results are not really checked. In some cases, they're even dumped because I was looking at them with my own eyes and make sure they're okay. So that's where we are. Earlier today, I imported a set of fixtures from a very well-known test suite for Taml. The problem with that test suite is written in Go, and I don't really want to set up a whole Go environment and then install that package and then build a separate target just so that I can build a binary and let that Go test suite call this binary and do their thing. This is fine until you want to set it all up in the continuous integration environment. So I decided I'm just going to take their raw data and basically incorporate the data into mine as normal XCTest. And the way it works is you feed in a toml test. Your input obviously is a toml file, and then your output will be a corresponding JSON file, except in that test suite, JSON files are required to be annotated with types. For example, if your value is a bool, then you have to output it as a dictionary in place of the bool, and the dictionary will have a key which has the key type, and then it will say bool, and then value, and then false, and false is a string, blah blah blah. And it has complicated set of rules where array sometimes needs to be real array, sometimes it needs to be the annotated elements where you have to say key is array and value is actually array. So it's very weird, cumbersome. And I wrote a script that took all those kind of expected JSON output and kind of simplified it. So we should probably just take a look at some examples here. All right, so table array, I have no idea what to expect. So this is, you can look by looking at this, you probably can imagine, well, I'm a little concerned that there's a missing a closed brace here. That is an issue. Anyways, by looking at this, you probably can imagine the original toml file, right? It's called a array of table or table array or something. So when you say two layers of brackets like this, you'd expect it to be a dictionary with a key people, but but the object is actually an element of the array instead of normally when you have one layer of bracket, you would say it's a table with two values. Anyways, so now I'm a little curious about this. I guess the first thing we need to do is to make sure things like this doesn't exist like broadly. Wait, there is a close print. What? Wait. What's the... Oh, weird. That's the same file, right? Wait. Okay, so maybe we're good. But that's where we are. So now, the next step, obviously, is go through each of these and go through all of this and take the toml file, feed it into our deserializer, take the output, and you have to again make another conversion, right? Because when you parse, I should show you this. Probably better to do this instead. If you feed your data and is valid into our deserializer, what you'll get, oh my, all right. What you will get is a dictionary that has these leaf values. So a toml string will become string, the integer will become int64, blah, blah, blah. And then you have these guys, these time and date objects from my nettype library. The reason I added them is because I want to be able to preserve all the information from the toml file. Sometimes you may be interested in like, oh, how many sub-seconds are there? Like sometimes you can say, hour, minute, and then second, and then dot, and then you can say infinite accuracy number of precision of sub-seconds. And there, I want to preserve all that information as I deserialize the toml format. So these guys are there to preserve all that information. But the downside of it is the JSON serialization from Foundation wouldn't recognize these types, obviously, because it probably deals with date. Well, it doesn't have the concept of date anyways. But we can't just feed a deserialized toml file from our library directly into JSON serialization to output the JSON file. And that's one problem. The other problem is like this integers and stuff are not strings, and in our fixtures, they're all strings. So what we need to do is feed the toml files that exist in that fixture dictionary, deserialize it into the dictionary, and then convert that dictionary into the fixtures output format, and then we'll read the output and compare and so on. Okay, so then the next question is, how should we do it? How should we do it? By that I mean we need a way to read files, right? We need a way to write files. Well, we need a way to read files mainly. Should I use a library that can read file for me? Or should I use Foundation? Should I use... yeah, I'll just use... It's tempting to use a whole library for this, really. Yeah. I'll use my own library. So this library is at version 004. One of these days I'll stream it and make it 1.0. All right, so version works out there. Probably need a comma here. Doesn't hurt to add a comma here. And then in testing, we'll use it. Weird, okay. Now, we'll make a new test file. Actually, I prefer to do that in Xcode because eventually I'll have to add it in anyways. I kind of want to use this name. Or should I just get rid of this guy? Yeah, maybe the first thing I need to do is move this as part of the deserializer test. Because these tests don't really test the deserialization as a whole. They only make sure that when you try to deserialize, nothing like crashes or no errors are thrown and things like that. So really, I mean, yeah, they should be part of serializer. And I have to break up all of these as well at some point. Anyways. Merge. Well, merge is a weird word because, yeah. Combine scanner tests. All right. Now I have this namespace to do the things that I really want. By the way, there's an error here because the Xcode only exists to support whatchamacallit, Carthage. I don't really use the Xcode. I mean, occasionally I use it for debug because debugger integration is better. But yeah, I think to fix it, I need to run a script basically. Let's see. I need to download this dependency and put it in the right place. Let's just search for Carthage. Install Carthage. Nope. Test Carthage. Wait, what do I need to do here? Yeah, basically this guy doesn't exist yet. So it needs to fetch dependencies. Yes. Let's try this. Fetch dependencies. Now if we go back to Xcode, it's thinking. Oh, build failed again. Even though this is right here. Why you fail? Clean. Clean fixed it. Test succeeds. All the tests succeeds. All right. Okay. Now we're back to a good place. Oh, what are we doing again? Oh yeah. Writing those tests. Oh. All right. So we need a few things here. We need, first of all, to find the list. So we have a choice for each of the files in the serializer, in the fixture, I mean. We can set up a separate test, or we can combine them. And we can use glob. We can glob through it and find all the toml files. Yeah, I think separate test has like obvious advantages because it has obvious advantages because when things goes wrong, you'd want to invoke whatever test is broken, as opposed to like, you know, run the entire test suite and or something, or rely on some weird reporting. Yeah. Oh, right. So what we want to do is quote these file names, right? And go to the next one. How many of these are there? I typed 100. We'll see. How many do you think these are? 38. Okay. Okay, so we can, for each of these, write a test, right? All right. So let's move this down there. Let's say should I incorporate names of these files as part of the test? I guess. Okay, is this good enough? Or should I keep going until I write the whole thing? I think this is a good stopgap. And the reason I said that is because, darn it, it didn't work. Okay, let's try that again. So, we're gonna start from here. How about new line on the top? Hello? Sorry, I'm trying to write everything in one macro. That's why these weird typing things happening. I feel like this time I did a much better job. Did I do it? Yes, I did it. Okay, so we have the file path for these, but not really, because they are actually under valid fixtures. So that's something we need to fix again. Yeah, these are really slow because every time I exit the normal mode from Vim, it's actually doing a save. I think when you queue up a lot of saves like this, it for whatever reason, it just gets slower and slower. No matter which machine I use Vim on, I observe the same thing. So, oh, okay. So we have 88, so that means I need to do that 44 more times. Wow, the machine's really chompy now. Wonder what's going on. Okay. Go. Oh, this is really painful. All right. So we need to next make the path work for real. And then we're going to read the toml file, feed it into the deserializer, and then we have to write that function that simplifies, I mean, not simplify, but convert. Yeah. Wow. I'm going to restart Vim after this. Convert the output of the deserializer into, for lack of a better word, stringy JSONs. And then we're going to write the other piece, which is, given the JSON from the JSON file and the JSON that we'll get from JSON serialization. Oh, if we're going to use JSON serialization, does that mean I no longer need pathos? Yeah, I don't need pathos anymore if I can read files. Interesting. I'm a little concerned about some of these. For example, the new line CRLF, I don't know what's in it. Man, I really should have started Vim earlier. This is like so slow. Oh God. Yeah, Foundation's way of reading files is so twisted. You have to get a URL or something. Oh wait, you can read it from the data type, I think. But the data takes URL, and you take the string path and you convert it into a URL first, something like that. Almost there. Let me try use this side. Yeah, I should be doing work instead of watching it going slowly, painfully. All right, so we can get rid of this actually. No need for this anymore. I thought about using Pathos because Pathos has glob. I wasn't decided on whether to use glob or not. But it looks like we probably won't ever need that anyways. Phew. Finally. All right. That was a mistake. All right. In fact, there's probably more, right? I can do. Yeah. Huh. So I need the test file's path. There's an easy way to do it, and there's a hard way. Mm. So we're going to take file, right? And we're going to split it. Split it by the separator, I guess. And then we're going to drop last. And then we're going to join all of this. Joined. See, this is actually using pathos makes a ton of sense. For example, this test, it wouldn't work on in the future, at least on Windows, because of the separator. And pathos will abstract all this away. And pathos actually has built-in functionality to find the current working directory or the current files directory. If you have, yeah, especially giving pound file. Foundation. Okay. All right. This is painful. All right. So we have this. It's joined, so it should be a string, right? Looks good. I need to update that. So make update links text manifest. Uh-oh. It doesn't like the rack. Okay. All right. Okay. How about now? Initialization of this never used. That's an error because I have a setting that treats warning as error. But everything else should be okay. All right. I would also like an. All right, that means this hopefully works. All right. Hmm. Yeah, so with Vim macro, essentially I only need to write the test once. The problem is it's kind of a complex test. I mean, not really, but non-trivial should be probably a better word. All right, just for my own vanity, I need to do this. I need to go here, go here, go here, come down. I need to do this. All right. This turned out to be like a showcase for Vim macro, more or less, but hopefully it's entertaining. No. Okay. Oh, this is messed up. All right. So the next step. Well, before I do anything, let's make sure our good values are still the same. Self.dictionary has no member dictionary. Oh, directory. Blah. What was I thinking? Dictionary, directory. Okay. This is where authoring Xcode start to become tempting because I don't really know APIs from Foundation, like off the top of my head. Let's look at documentation. Data, right? Does data have an initializer or something that takes URL, contents of URL? All right. Read options. Okay, so contents of URL take the URL, but URL takes a string and gives you that. Okay. So this is a thing I use at work a lot. So if you only are using static URLs, well, this is not a static URL, is it? Dang it. All right. All right. What do you call it? Can I not give it a name? Good URL. All right. So string force unwrap. I don't need this anymore. Okay. So probably need to do macros again to convert these guys into URL, right? Okay, okay, okay. So what I did is I can make a macro that takes that string and wrap it in the URL, and then make another macro that repeats that macro twice and also move on to the next function, right? Vim, use it. Can't do this with multi-cursors. Well, you probably can, but you have to like scroll through a bunch of stuff or do it on a bunch of dancing with your modifier keys or whatever. Yeah, actually, you can do it with multi-cursor. Okay, so what was it? Data? Data contents of something like that. Where is it? Oh, file content with string. No. I should use this. Darn it. Stop. Stop, stop, stop. File content with string. Told you I don't know foundation. It's like, why? Why do you use both schemes? Make up your mind. Is it string or URL? Oh, overkill, 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 overkill. I guess I don't need this anymore anyways. Oh. Okay. But the good thing is it's not, we probably need to do this again. Just for my own sanity, I'm gonna do it in Xcode. Because there's sometimes the inline error reports can be handy, right? Like here, nothing red, just yellow, great. So like with multi-cursor, you can do things like this as well, I suppose. Nope, actually I don't know how to do it. But that's not what I'm here for. Data. Oh, wait. Maybe you can. I know how to do it. So it's like you go down, skip, skip, skip. Nope. The cursor skips with you. All right. Contents of Wait, what was it? File URL with... Wait, that's URL. File URL with path. Wait, this is data, it's data, it's data, it's data. No. It's not data, it's URL. What if I want to look at data? Contents of URL. All right. Fuck off. I need it anyways. Good thing is I think my macro still works. Ah. 300 lines. It's less than 100. Let's try 50. Wait, what's going on? Hold on. Okay, so data, contents of file, blah, 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 will take care of that. You get the data, now you can deserialize it, and then we need to write our function that does the thingy. So that can be done separately. So let's do that. Let's do that in a playground. All right. So our input will be string any, and it's gonna be like key value, key value, key value. All right, random stuff, and our output should be, well, it doesn't matter. Stringify. It'll be a data, or no, it's going to be string any. Is it done over here? It's not done. Okay. String value. String value. Okay. Oh, did Xcode just crash? Okay, so for these guys, now we're gonna read the files, read the data, I guess. So these really are URLs. So yes. What should I do here? So for each of these URL, we need to convert them into data. Again, the infamous data contents of URL option. And it throws, okay, it throws. All right, throws. Okay, so we're gonna do JSON is data. Why did this say split? Whatever. Contents of JSON URL. Try, right? Okay, so these are the data. We're gonna do toml deserializer. Toml table. Toml table with. The reason I said with, even though it's kind of unnatural, is because it mirrors the JSON serialization API from Foundation. So toml table with toml. Try get toml raw. Toml table. Okay. And this is a good illustration. So you can do JSON is JSON serialization, JSON object, I think. So you probably need to call it JSON object. Serialization, JSON object is optional. Options optional. Options has a default value, so it's optional. Okay. already. Doctored JSON table equals self.doctor. Toml table. This is the thing we're writing. Then we'll say okay. So what now? Oops. Stop. Messed up. Yeah, this is what I mean. This is what I mean by I only have to write one test because all of them are identical. The only thing that changes are the URLs, the file contents. And of course, when things break, that's not necessarily true. Like I need to write one test, but I need to fix potentially a lot of them. Of course, some may say like, oh, wouldn't it be better to have a function that just takes two strings instead of repeating all of this? But that has the same problem of having just one test. Basically, when something breaks, you have to go hunt down the string, and then you can pass down the line number or whatever. But this is just, in my opinion, more straightforward. So I'm gonna put in doctor, what do we call it? Doctor toml table. I guess I'll just call it table. This is the thing we started to write. What's the other thing? Equate. Equate. We have a table and we have another thingy. A, B, bool. Guess I'll just return. So we should see the test failing, but compile, hopefully. Compile but fail. Uh-oh. There's some weird macro related errors here. How about now? Static string. Oh. What? This should be a string, and this should be good URL. JSON URL is not a thing because why would it be? But fear not. All right. Missing label A and B. Okay. Those shouldn't be required because I missed a space there. I should really get rid of this, huh? Okay. Can't convert any to yeah. Makes sense. Hey, it compiled. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, now we can finally write some code. So far it's been one big exercise of I'm actually kind of curious. So far it's been one big exercise of Vim macro, right? Hold on. I want to stop here. These files don't exist. What is dictionary? I mean directory. Directory looks... so they should be in tests, toml-tests, valid fixtures. So why would that be 0 bytes? What's this value? Valid fixtures. Oh. Oh. Huh. Yeah, this is why I wanted to use pathos. So much work for so little rewards. Ah. Okay, now at least we have URLs. Whew. So this URL, is it legit? Is it illegit? It is. It exists. And does it have content? It does. All right. But why can't I? The file empty array JSON can't be what? And Foundation refuses to read the content of this. Why? It finished with 1002. What does that mean? Unless URL connection. What the? What? Data. Come on. Contents of your options. Maybe I should use file URL init file URL with path. That's what I need, right? File URL with path. That's what I need. Please. Ambiguous use. Why is this ambiguous? All right. How about this? Does that resolve the ambiguity? What? Something must be wrong here. Is dictionary resolves it? Oh, I guess is dictionary is like conflicts with. How? Why? All right. All right. Shenanigans. More shenanigans. Hmm. Okay, Xcode, please come back. There we go. Okay, how do you feel about this now? Uh-oh, there's a missing paren here. I'm a little concerned. What now? URL. For whatever reason, it's missing here. Okay, fix. Anything else? Anything else? Something missing here. Extra. Closing braces. I mean, closing parens. Yeah? Compile? Nope. What else? One last thing. For whatever reason, this is missing. Build succeeded. Yes. All right. Now it's legit failures. And we went all the way to the assert. That means all the files has been written, right? Perfect, 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 perfect. All right. Wow. What happened here? We added a comma for whatever reason. Okay, 900 lines. Woo! All right, now we can really write code, right? Because now we need to figure out the doctor one and the equate one. Okay, I'm gonna take a break. So this will be the end of this video. Thanks for watching.